Let me tell you what I've learned in 48 years of not just being a Christian, but being a Christian involved with so many other people's lives. I've learned that it really does get better if you hang on. Man, I've been through some low places emotionally. My little birth in Christ was so good, I thought God was going to answer every prayer. He didn't. My family and my church was praying, don't let him get drafted. I got drafted. Then they prayed, he's not going to Vietnam. Your son, you're not going to Vietnam. I went to Vietnam. Don't let him be in danger. Oh, good Lord. There was no place, there wasn't danger in Vietnam. I was in Cu Chi on the Ho Chi Minh Trail between Saigon and Cambodia. It wasn't pretty. It was not nice. It was just life. It's pitiful. God, where are you? And then, like Steve Jobs said in one of his commencement speeches, I reached a place one day when I just thought, I don't know how to tell people God will answer prayer because he hadn't answered any of mine. And so I got to look back. Take the long look back. Remember when you first came to God and then that didn't happen like you wanted it and that didn't happen like you wanted it? I mean, from the very get-go, I was engaged to somebody before I was engaged to my wife. That didn't happen. Thank God. And then that didn't happen. And then I prayed about that. And then I started looking, that didn't happen. That didn't happen. That didn't happen. Here's where I went. Here's what happened. Here. And then you get to a place where you say, now would you rather be somewhere else besides where you are right now? No. I love where I am right now. How'd you get there? God ignored my prayers. Are you hearing me? God didn't answer the things I asked him to do. You've heard me say, I wouldn't take anything for going to Vietnam. Theologically and spiritually, it was the turning point in my life. I would never have made. I thank God for it. And I've had other veterans say the same thing. Oh, that was a turning point for me. I've had men spend years in prison say, I thank God I went to prison because it was a turning of a corner for me. I've heard people say, I didn't want the divorce. It shouldn't have happened. I wish it hadn't have happened. But when it did, my life changed for the better. I begged God to not let her, not let him. Please, God, stop this. And it's like God just ignored me. But 10 years later, I look back and all the dots connect. Every dot connects. And the things I asked him to do, he didn't do. If that hadn't happened the way, you understand what I'm telling you? It gets better. It really gets better. You go from the outer courts when you get older. You go from the outer courts to the inner courts. You go from strong faith to stronger faith. You go from strong prayer to stronger prayer. You know how I can say that? Because for the last 30 years of my life, I don't pray, God, give me this. I'm naming it. I'm claiming it. Yeah, I don't do that. What I do is I say, God, I'd really like to have this. As far as I can tell, it's what I need. So I'm just going to ask you, give me this, if it's your will. If it's not your will, well, we'll just move on to something else. But if it's your will, and you may not know it yet, some of you, but that's strong prayer and that's strong faith.